What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Fight Out podcast. Today, we will be breaking down the upcoming UFC 313 card, the return of Alex Pereira, 2024 Fighter of the Year. Just before we start, please remember to subscribe, like, let us know in the comments down below, as always, if you agree with what I'm saying. And without further ado, let's get into the card. Now, if you've watched previous podcasts, you know I always bang on about not looking at the odds before before we jump on. I'll be honest, I've checked them. I've had a look at the odds this time, which hasn't really influenced my decision. I've actually seen the odds change as we've been going, which is quite interesting. So we'll start at the top of the card. Alex Pereira against Magomed Ankalaev. The fight that a lot of people are touting is kind of the big test for Pereira. I've been doing quite a bit of research into this, like rewatching all the old fights and stuff like that. Even though I've seen them before, which I don't usually do because I've seen every Pereira fight, I've seen every Ankalaev fight. I just find myself strongly swaying towards Pereira for a few reasons. Now, one of them was Ramadan, and I've seen Ankalaev say this week he's actually breaking his fast and coming out of that a little bit basically to make sure he can make the weight. Which, okay, that's fair enough. It's still not enough in my opinion to get this done. I just think stylistically, Ankalaev, the kind of touting him as this guy who can take down whoever he wants and a Dagestani wrestler, doesn't really try and wrestle in the UFC. He's also got good striking. But when you look at his fight, he does actually try to take down quite a lot. And he tries it a lot against a lot of people, and a lot of them get stuck. Now, obviously, one fight in particular that jumps out when I'm thinking of this stylistically is the Jan Blachowicz fight. And Jan shot the legs off Ankalaev for the first 2 rounds, where it almost looked like he's not going to be able to continue. Now, look, he come back, the fight ended up being a draw, whatever. But obviously, Pereira's got that sneaky leg kick, the sneaky low leg kick that is really hard to deal with, even for kickboxers. Look at what he done to Izzy in both the UFC fights. He hit him with that leg kick numerous times over. And I think stylistically, Pereira is a bit of a nightmare for Ankalaev, like he is a nightmare for everyone. And the reason why I was kind of going back and forth more than anything was because Pereira seems to be everywhere but training, which made me think, like, is he focused on this fight right now? And stuff like that. But I've decided not to look too much into that because I think, the muscle memory he'll have, the amount of training he's done over the years, maybe he doesn't need to be in the gym as much anyway. And let's be honest, I haven't got a clue if he's in there or not. I'm just trying to go off social media. Now, it's pretty even in terms of odds. Pereira's 5-6, Magomed Ankalaev is 10-11. So Pereira's a very, very slight favourite, but there's good value for money in him. I'm going to go Pereira. If you wanted to go Pereira KO, I definitely wouldn't be against it. 11-8, quite nice odds. Now, obviously, I actually recorded this video a while back when obviously it was Hooker against Gaethje. I was just talking about the main and the co-main. I can't release that video now because Hooker's out. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev, obviously a rematch. The fight in London I rewatched as well. And it was actually a lot closer than I remember. I remember at the time. I mean, I was there, so maybe it was a little bit skewed, but I had Gaethje winning like quite comfortably 2-1. When I've watched it back, it's so close, like it's ridiculous. I think maybe the takedown in the last minute would probably be, the difference if it was even kind of thing. It really was a very, very close fight. And Fiziev hit Gaethje bad in the first minute of that third round. Went to fifth round, then it was a 3-round fight. I think it's a very interesting matchup. Obviously, Gaethje's coming off the big knockout loss, but he's took a very long time off. Fiziev is coming off 2 losses, one to Gaethje and one to Gamrot. Obviously, it was an injury, and then he's taken time off since the injury. But he said he's been trying to get a fight and he's been trying to come back. Now, there's not really been any of that news circulating in MMA media. I think it's definitely an interesting one for him to come back to fight Justin Gaethje. I think that's a big ask off a layoff and somebody that's already beaten you. Now, there's 2 ways that can go mentally: a chance of redemption, or you come into the fight thinking, shit, this kid had my number last time, whether you think it was, a Gaethje win or not. At the start when this was announced, Gaethje was quite a considerable underdog. I can't remember what the odds were exactly, but I know that Fiziev was less than evens in the UK market, which basically means, you're getting less than your money back if you put it on. Um, it's actually swayed now, which makes me think that a lot of people are backing Gaethje in. The odds for Justin Gaethje have gone to 4 to 6, which I think is still very good odds. Definitely happy with that. And I was going Gaethje anyway as a kind of dog when I was, planning this video, but now he's no longer a dog, so I can't say that. I'm going Justin Gaethje. Now the next fight for me is, I know I say this quite often, and but it's a bit of a coin toss. Jalen Turner against Bahamondes. I mean, it's literally, I cannot think of any in either way that's swaying me. Jalen Turner, Bahamondes. I'm avoiding it on the bet completely. If you ask me prediction, my gut feeling is Bahamondes. But I'm just not convinced either way. That I could probably go off on a 20-minute video discussing the two of them and going like why I'm thinking that, why I'm thinking that. Decided against it for the case of keeping this video short. I'm going to kind of gloss over it a little bit and say I would go Bahamondes, but I don't know. It's a little coin toss. Now, next up before that, we've got the ladies, Amanda Lemos against Lucindo. I'm going Lucindo. She's on a very, very good run. Amanda Lemos is, she's had a couple of losses. She's a little bit like win one, lose one, in my opinion. I don't think this is the fight for her to kind of get back on track. I'm going Lucindo. And then the first card kicking off the main event, the return of Bobby Green against Maurizio Ruffi, out of the fighting nets. So I really like Maurizio Ruffi. I really like Bobby Green. Now, Bobby Green's odds are huge. They're 4 to 1. Like, I don't know if it's that wide. I can't see Bobby finishing him or anything like that. But if the fight goes long, he's been in there a lot of times. There's no reason why an experienced fighter against a less experienced fighter, I think he's 11-1 or 12-1, something, Maurizio Ruffi. The odds are quite huge. Maurizio Ruffi is a nailed-on favourite, which I do think he'll win the fight, but it's one of them that could stink of an upset, to be honest with you. I seen Bobby Green's interview about saying like the Paddy loss is still hurting him. He's fighting these young up-and-coming guys. He kind of thinks he's like almost the old guard now in the UFC, especially with Tony Ferguson gone. And I think, if anyone can win a fight like this, it is Bobby Green and shake it all up. We've seen that happen before. I'm going Ruffi. There's a bit of sway in me to say let's avoid it and just not touch it, but I'm going Ruffi. Now on the prelims are actually quite good. You've got Alex Morono, who's a big dog in his fight. Armin Petrosian's fighting, who I'm also backing to win. He is a favourite. He is fighting Bruno Pereira. I like Petrosian. I backed him last time when he was fighting as well. I've been watching him a bit more. I definitely think he's going to get it done. And then obviously the main event of the prelims is Curtis Blades coming back. And again, I really like Curtis Blades. I think he's a top fighter. Obviously, he came up against Tom last time, and Tom blew him out of the water in the rematch. But Tom's the elite of the elite. He's just waiting for that actual official announcement that he's heavyweight champion. Because I mean, I don't know if that John Jones fight will ever happen. So I'm going Curtis Blades, and I'm going Armin Petrosian on the prelims. So just to reiterate, we've got Armin Petrosian, Curtis Blades, we've got Maurizio Ruffi, we've got Lucindo, we've got Justin Gaethje, and we've got Alex Pereira as a 6-fold bet is what we're going for at the Fight House. So let us know if you agree with those picks, what you think on how it's going to go down this weekend. Fellow UK Fight House, it is one of them, where we've got to stay up this weekend. There's been past weekends where we haven't. Fights at our time, things like that. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I do record them if it's not as good a card, but this one's a banger, so I'm going to be up to this. Definitely staying up. So yeah, let us know if you're giving me predictions. Thank everyone for getting to the end of this video. If you did, if you think I'm talking absolute bollocks, let me know in the comments below. If you think I've got a little bit of sense. To be fair, I've got a few 6 out of 6s and 5 out of 6s recently. So if you're following me in with maybe a little change here or there, you could actually be winning some money. But yeah, let me know, and we'll see you in the next one.